We did have a couple conversations. We did get to know each other a little bit, and I honestly feel like it would have been a different dynamic with us if her man wasn't interested in me, respectfully.
She's not wrong. And she also said that day that they were in Soul Ties, they were up there for about 2 or 3 hours. So at that point, Melanie was just being willfully hopeful. Because if my man got somebody up in Soul Ties for 3 hours, I'm convinced I ain't getting him back. So because there were 2 people that went home this time, we got to see their car ride, I guess, back to the hotel when they got eliminated. And I love seeing that because even more so than the phone, you really get their first impression, like their first raw emotion as soon as they get their ass eliminated and they walk them big ass suitcases to the car. You get their first emotions. And when we see them in the car, Sol says to Gabe, yeah, I really thought I was going to do better on Love Island. And I also thought that Sol was going to do better on Love Island. On paper, Sol is that bitch. Like, on paper, Sol should have came through there and snatched those. But personality-wise, I really have been feeling like Sol kind of grew up the nerdy, maybe like the nerdy anime girl or something. Like, she grew up kind of a nerd. That's the feeling that I was getting. And then when we see her get her phone back, she says,
Been to like 10 different schools, so it's like I'm like used to being like the new kid, and sometimes I don't always fit in.
And it's like, okay, I get it now. That's why you're like that. I think people really underestimate how important it is for kids to have a solid foundation when they're young. Some of the friends that I made in elementary school, middle school, and high school, I'm still friends with to this day. One of my longest friendships is with my best friend that I met in middle school. I've been knowing the girl since we were 11 years old, you know? And so it's really important to have that foundation, especially once you start hitting middle school and stuff, when you start going through, you know, puberty and all these changes, especially when, I mean, boys go through some stuff too, but not nearly as much as girls. So especially when you're a girl and like, you know, having your friends there to relate to every little thing you're going through. And yeah, it's just so important. And school and those friendships and hanging out with them on the weekends, that's really where you learn a lot of your social skills. And that's why people think that homeschool children are weird. I think some of them can be okay if they have other social interaction, but if you just spending all your time at home and you're never interacting and that's how you grow up during your formative years, yeah, you're gonna have a weird time trying to integrate and have conversations with people because it's like you don't really know how to do it. And during those important years where you were learning it and you were building those foundations, it sounds like Sol was bouncing around from school to school to school. So I don't feel like she ever really built that foundation. So yeah, she come off a little weird. That's probably why y'all don't like her. I've never had anything against the weird kid though, because I was the weird kid. She also said that Aniya was cock blocking and she called Casey a pussy. So we gonna see how that play when he get out.
Anytime I try to talk to Casey, Aniya came and like pulled him.
Didn't go home, that he would try and pursue you.
It's just like, what the fuck were you waiting for?
Right. Because like things move so fast.
It just gives like pussy, like at the end of the day.
Before they bring Sol out, Tefi and Ciara were talking about how they think things would have played out had the girls got to choose which girl went home and the boys got to choose which boy went home, rather than it being the other way around. And I think Tefi starts to say, oh, well, if the girls got to pick, then Jen would have gone home. And then they kind of course correct and say, nah, Sol would have gone home regardless. And I think that's important to note because that's the same way that I feel, and that's what I've been saying. Sol was leaving the island no matter what. She was gonna leave with the boys because Sincere was pushing for it and he didn't want his shit coming back, bubbling back up with Melanie, and he didn't want Melanie and Sol having a conversation. And she was gonna go home with the girls because in my opinion, I think that a few of the girls were jealous, maybe even envious of Sol. 2 of them in particular were really threatened by her, in my opinion. Melanie was threatened, obviously, because of the back and forth with Sincere. Aniya was threatened because of the little bit of something with KC, which I don't even know really what had her in a tizzy because that didn't even go anywhere. But those 2 specifically, I think, threatened.
Melanie and Aniya, both of their like men were like thought I was attractive and stuff. So there was some like weird tension.
Kenzie didn't like Sol, even though she pretended to like Sol, whatever. Kenzie was gonna get on board with whatever the girls were saying. Kata, Trinity, and Jen might be the only 3 there that didn't specifically dislike Sol, but Trinity was gonna go with whatever the OGs were saying. Kata was gonna go with whatever the OGs were saying because she was lucky to be brought into the finger with them anyway, because remember, she was a bombshell. And then Jen also doesn't want to ostracize herself because she's also a very new bombshell. So Sol was leaving regardless. We just need to admit that. There was no way that this was going to play out where Sol was going to stay in that house. So y'all know I like seeing everybody get their phone back, but I really like seeing the girls get their phone back because the girls going to go through the messages and say, who is this texting me and why are they texting me? When we saw Beatriz get her phone back, she said that one of her brother's exes was texting me and she was like, girl, what the hell are you doing here? We don't even talk. When Sol got her phone back, she said one of her exes was texting her.
My ex texted me. Let's see what he said. He said, not me opening every social app and seeing you everywhere. Good shit, Sol. He's in a relationship. I don't know why he's texting me.
It's just so girl coded. I love it. Like, that's such a girl thing to be like, look at this. Look at him texting me like, I love girlhood. I love being a girl. Don't y'all? Well, not all of y'all are girls, but I just like it so much. It's so fun. It's so pink for me. For me, it's pink. You don't have to be pink for you. Now, something Sol did say that I'm kind of giving her a side eye for. She said that she's a huge flirt, which she did kind of hint at when she came into the villa. She was like, oh, I get looks all the time, which granted, look at her. Obviously she does. But she's like, I didn't really get to show that in the villa. I'm a huge flirt. I'm low-key a menace. And it's just like, girl, if there was ever an opportunity for you to display how much of a menace you could have been, if you really had that dog in you, Love Island, when you're a bombshell, was the time to do it.
Are you a flirt? I feel like you're such a flirt.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm like a menace sometimes.
Oh my God.
I hate that they weren't able to see that, but like when I do go out, like, and I see someone, I'll walk up to them and I'll be like, I'll whisper in the ear, I'll be like, you're handsome.
I don't necessarily think that bombshells need to go in and blow things up, even though by their name, that's what they should be doing. I don't think they have to come in that aggressively. If that's not you, it's just not you. But if you're saying that that is you and you are a menace and you do got that dog in you, I think you lying, because where was the dog when it needed to be barking? And they also started getting into the conversation of hair. And this is why I love that one of the women hosting Aftersun is a black woman, because she's going to be able to bring those conversations up and she gets it. Y'all know I'm on Threads. That's where I get a lot of my insight on what the zeitgeist is saying. A lot of people on Threads have been talking about Sol's hair, why she got the bangs like that, like who's doing her hair. And they explain like, look, it's hot and humid in Fiji. It be raining and all kind of stuff. But in particular, what came out of that conversation is the fact that there's never any discourse about the other women's hair. It's only ever the black women's hair.
Like, no one's talking about Kenzie's hair in there. No one's talking about Jen's hair.
Of course not.
They're only discussing black women's hair. And I need people to understand, it's hot in Fiji. It's raining.
Yeah,
it's humid. It's so humid. To maintain a style in this condition,
Yeah.
Best of luck.
And I even had a conversation in my comment section. Someone said something about Aniya, I think the styles of her hair. And I said, yeah, we have not seen her have any styles to her hair. She ain't did a half up, half down. She ain't done a cute bun. She ain't had no space buns. Nathan, where are the styles? Like, black girl to black girl, why are you wearing a wash and go every day? Especially if you know that a wash and go is not lasting in this humidity. That being said, I feel like I have some room to talk about that. Y'all know I'm a natural girly, so I understand natural hair. My name is Natural Nay LA for a reason. My YouTube channel actually started off as a natural hair kind of vlog situation. And so I understand natural hair really well. I've been natural for several years now. I really wish that Aniya would do something else with her hair. That being said, I'm speaking on that because I understand that experience. If you anything other than black, I don't even know why you're having this conversation. And then the other part of that conversation that I've been seeing is, you know, there's always going to be conversation if the black girls get on here with lace fronts lifting and hair not blending and all that. Even me personally as a black woman, I don't even feel like I could really speak on that. Every once in a while, I throw on a wig just for fun because I want color and I'm not dyeing my natural hair, or I want, you know, some versatility. I want a straight look. I don't straighten my hair, so I'm never gonna, well, I'm not gonna say never say never, but I'm not in an era right now where I want to put that much heat on my hair to get a silk press or anything like that. For me, when I throw on a wig, it's very much giving wig. Like, I'm not trying to make it look like it's real or nothing. I don't get a bust down. I don't do anything like that. I'm not trying to blend and melt the lace. I don't even know how to do any of that. So even me as a black woman, I feel like I can't even speak on lace fronts lifting or any of that. I don't know how to make a lace front not lift. My lace front would probably be lifting too. It's hot as hell. And I just feel like if you're not black, this conversation is not about you. Like, this play is not about you. Mind your business. Y'all will never understand all the things that black women go through with their hair. Even with hair texture, we can get into a whole different conversation about that, because Aniya has a looser hair type. That's why when I said she made that good hair comment, yeah, in the black community, Aniya is a type, her hair type is the type that people would consider good hair. Never a phrase that I use, but that is what people would say. And that's why I was kind of taken aback by that. And I was like, that's an ignorant statement to make on such a public platform, because you know what people are going to think when you say that. And so I just don't like to see other black women using stuff like that. But if you ain't black, stay your ass out the conversation about black women's hair. I don't think that the conversation that I had in the comment section about styles was really too much. But as far as, like, you know, her hair not holding up to humidity, yeah, that's how curly hair works. It doesn't hold up well to humidity. Curly hair is naturally frizzy. Even if I put all the oil on my hair, whatever, it's gonna be naturally frizzy because it's curly hair. It's coily hair. Like, I just need y'all to understand that, or don't, and shut the hell up. Understand it or don't, and shut the hell up. Like,
I definitely need to touch on this situation as well. There was one point where they were asking Sol and Gabe who they thought weren't going to make it out of Casa as a couple, and she said Trinity and Bryce. And then she follows it up by saying this.
Shade in the tea. He probably thinks that, like, Kata's prettier than Trinity. So, like, if his type did come in, I do feel like he'd be like, oh my God.
Okay.
He also talks about how Bryce decided to pull Kata after she had turned him down once before. Now, Bryce does have a friend outside of the villa saying that black women are his type. I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny that. But what I'm saying is I don't think he's attracted to Trinity, and I think that's very obvious. And I think vice versa. She isn't attracted to him either. So I think Sol's delivery was absolute trash because the way that she said it sounded terrible. She shouldn't have said that he thinks she's prettier than Trinity, but I do think he's more attracted to her, which is probably how she should have said it.
I also just want to say this because I know y'all asses gonna be talking about it on threads. When it was Sol's turn to speak, the wind started getting a little, heavier, started picking up. It was blowing.
What were some of your thoughts?
It just didn't feel like people were open to even get to, like, know me.
I just know that some of y'all gonna be like, look how the wind was blowing when Sol was talking. That's a sign. That's how we know. And y'all gonna take that as a bad sign. I just know that's what y'all gonna do. Leave that girl alone. She ain't did Nathan to y'all. Let's talk about Gabe for a minute. Maybe we gonna see Beatriz and Gabe reconnection. When he got his phone back, he did go to look at her socials. I think he watched her live where she was saying, like, how dare he be hugged up with somebody in the bed, the night that I leave. Beatriz, girl, he knew you for a millisecond in that villa and you were gone. What was he supposed to do? Like, that is what it is. And he did say that in the villa, Beatriz was his safe space.
Like, I was feeling safe with her.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I really appreciate the whole time that I was with her. That's why when I saw her leaving the villa,
Yeah.
I was feeling like there's a piece of me
Yeah.
like leaving.
And she said similar things about him in the sense that he makes her feel like she's in her feminine energy. So at least that feeling is mutual and reciprocated and it's not one-sided because you never want that to be one-sided. Maybe now that they both free, we can see a little reconnection. We also found out that Gabe is a Nepo baby.
What's your best friend's name?
Andrea Brunelli.
And he was like your first friend in Miami, and he was on season 3. You have a whole history.
Very, very interesting. I wasn't watching Love Island in season 3, but if y'all were and y'all know anything about his friend, let me know what the general consensus is about him in the zeitgeist because I'm curious. Now, Gabe says something that I actually been saying.
Think that people were staying in their couples to
yes.
keep the peace, or do you think that that's really where they wanted to be?
I mean, I think nobody wanted to leave the house.
Nobody wants to leave the villa, particularly when it comes to Zach and Kata and Bryce and Trinity. I think they are very strategically playing this show so that they position themselves to be top 2. That's just what I think. So it's not that we're super in love, especially when it comes to Bryce and Trinity. That's not the case. They just don't want to leave. Whether that be to win or to have some fun in Casa, they're just not trying to leave. He also gave his opinion on the strongest and weakest couples in the villa.
The strongest, I would say KC and Aniya.
And then who do you think is not going to last?
I think Corbin Kenzie.
And what do you know? Those are my exact 2 in the exact positions that I put them in. So I feel like I'm picking up on that correctly. I don't know. Tefi and Ciara also talked about the fact that Sincera's moving funny in the villa. And they asked a question that's something that I've been asking myself and asking you all, which is, can I be mad at Sincere for playing the game? And I think when I look at all the information that I have in front of me, the answer is yes. Y'all know that I am a hard game lover because I like game shows like The Mole, $1 Million Secret. I'm a Survivor watcher, although I don't cover Survivor. And I love watching people go on those game shows and play hard. I love manipulation on game shows like that. I love seeing people lie and backstab on game shows like that. But that's kind of the integrity of games like that. It's like to backstab and lie and manipulate your way to the win. Love Island is not supposed to be like that. And so when I see you lying to these girls and going back and forth and all this nonsense, it doesn't sit right because that's not the integrity of the game. Everyone's not playing that way. See, if someone goes on Survivor and they go in thinking people are about to be honest to them, I say, have you ever seen an episode of Survivor? That's not how you play this. You need to go in there with your guard up 24/7 because people are going to be backstabbing and lying. That's the name of the game. When I'm watching a show like Love Island, y'all here to swap spit, and have some fun, have an unforgettable summer. Like, the name of the game is not to be lying and manipulating. So I think for me, that's the difference. And because of that, I can't respect Sincere. And if I can't respect him, then I can't appreciate the gameplay. The same way that I don't appreciate Zach because he's moving funny. He also pointed out that Corbin and Caleb have the same exact tattoo, which I did not even notice before. That's weird. It's just weird because they both have kind of been eyeing Kenzie. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Those are all my thoughts on episode 2 of Aftersun. Tomorrow we are getting into Casa immediately. And I can't wait to hear y'all thoughts on that. Tomorrow's also Father's Day. And I am going to be out with my dad tomorrow. My dad don't watch my YouTube videos. I'm taking my dad to a float tank tomorrow. Been to a float tank twice. If you don't know what that is, it's like they fill basically like a mini pool, like a one-person pool that you lay in with a shit ton of Epsom salt, I think. And you just lay in it. And it's so much salt in it that it's like the Dead Sea. You just float. I've done it. I loved it. It can be really relaxing or really anxiety-inducing. It just depends on who you are. But I asked my dad a while ago if he would want to do one. So I'm taking him to one tomorrow. So yeah, that's going to be real cute. So I don't think we're going to be out too late. But just bear in mind that tomorrow is in fact a holiday. And so if my video comes out late or it doesn't come out till Monday, do not beat me up. Just know I'm hanging out with my daddy, okay? What else? Oh, I am also dog sitting next week. Not y'all getting my itinerary. I'm dog sitting next week. And so my videos might be out later because I'm going to be editing on my laptop instead of editing on my desktop, which is, I don't like editing on my laptop. On my desktop, like I'm moving that mouse like, you know, I got the magic fingers on the mouse. But on my laptop, you know, I just have one screen and it's just a lot slower process for me. So what actually might end up happening next week is that I'm just going to put less clips in. That's probably what I'll do because I still want to get the videos out in a timely manner. I'm probably just going to put a lot less clips in. So just keep in mind, and that's all week. I'm doing that from Monday through Friday. I'll be dog sitting. So I'm not going to have my big computer. Just know that. That's it. I'm going to get this edited, get this up, and I'm going to go have game night with my friends. Or movie night. I don't know which one we're doing yet, but I'm going to go do that and get ready to go to the float tank tomorrow. So yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for Casa. Bye.